And now, the general weather around Alaska.
Welcome to Alaska Weather. I'm meteorologist Peter Chan, coming to you from the National Weather Service in Alaska region on this Saturday, October 12th, 2024. And if you'd like additional weather information on top of what I provide in this YouTube video, you can go to weather.gov. That'll bring you to the National Weather Service's online web page, and this will pull up a map here of the continental U.S. with Hawaii and Alaska to the lower left, and then tabs for the territories. And if you point and click anywhere on this map, it will give you a very specific forecast for any location in the nation, including any relevant watches, warnings, or advisories. And I like to start out just kind of show what's happening in the lower 48. The good news is we don't have any major storm systems to report down there today. We do have a red flag warning for parts of Nebraska. That'll go into tomorrow, and then potentially some frost freezing temperatures, areas of the Dakotas and down into the Central Plains. But otherwise, as I said, no major storms. We do, though, have a pretty large storm system impacting much of the state right now. It's a rather deep low. Southeast of Kodiak Island. That'll be the case now through Sunday afternoon before it begins to weaken and head eastward along the Gulf North Pacific interface toward Haida Gwaii here by Tuesday. This has a broad circulation. It's creating some high winds all along areas west coast, eastern Bering Sea, up into the Gulf Coast. And then it's also producing some moderate to heavy rain and snow as this moisture works its way inland along the Gulf Coast. We've seen some heavier rainfall, some ponding of water around Whittier today, and also some heavier rains move through the Panhandle at least this Saturday morning and afternoon. But that precipitation will be letting up a bit along the Gulf Coast, and as that works its way northward, it's going to encounter colder air. Already an area of snow, accumulating snow, is beginning to develop and will expand as we go through this Saturday night into Sunday. Already some of the coastal mountains picking up snow, and then into the interior as we get up through the middle upper Yukon Valley, all along areas especially of the central eastern Brooks Range and central eastern portions of the North Slope. So it doesn't bode well for seeing a comet. There's a potential for seeing the comet. There are a few spots that may have a little clearing this Saturday evening. We may have some other chances, though, coming up in the week ahead, depending on your location. But the snow is beginning to develop in the middle Yukon Valley around Ruby. Snow and fog, 34 degrees this mid-afternoon. Sheep Mountain has picked up some snow as well. Snow and fog, 28 degrees there. As you go up the Matanuska Valley, and again, these areas and further northward are going to be seeing some periods of accumulating snow as we go through tonight and on Sunday. Now, out toward the west, Nome has seen some sunshine, clearer skies. This is a southwest view looking from Nome. But gusty winds, 50+ miles an hour at times. Still a high wind warning in effect for areas of the Seward Peninsula, St. Lawrence Island through 10 a.m. on Sunday morning. If the comet were to be visible, it'd be in that just slightly south of due west, 7:30 to 8 o'clock at night. Be tough to see, though. It's only going to be maybe 5-6 degrees above the horizon. Now, Ketchikan, way down to the south, has had periods of wind, rain, and fog today, 54 degrees. At least the heaviest rains and strongest winds have, for the most part, blown through that area of the Panhandle. With still, though, we're going to have lighter rain or rain showers linger with gusty winds through tonight and into Sunday as well. So here are the current watch warnings, advisories. The areas in blue are just special weather statements. Brisk northerly gales and occasional snow showers will plague areas of the west coast through Sunday. We have high wind warnings here for the Seward Peninsula, St. Lawrence Island, gusts 50 to 60 miles an hour, coastal areas through 10 a.m. Sunday morning. Still a high wind warning for the eastern Aleutians, including Dutch Harbor, where winds could gust 50 to 60 miles an hour through early this Saturday evening. We have a wind advisory for the Alaska Range for 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts through tonight. And then this area here, a wind advisory up through the middle Yukon Valley. But more importantly, this is a winter weather advisory that includes Alacaquette, Bettles, and then a winter storm warning for the southern Dalton Highway up through Gobbler's Knob. This area could pick up several inches of snow this Saturday evening through Sunday. Generally 2 to 7 inches of snow, but some areas here in the higher terrain of the Dalton Highway could see as much as a foot of of snow by the time things let up later Sunday. And then that moisture is expanding north. All this area here is going to see accumulating snow here through the weekend. Winter storm warning, though, for Anatovik and Adigan passes on up into the central areas of the North Slope and, say, from New Exit on over to Kaktovik. 6 to as much as 16 inches of snow could fall through early Monday morning. Heaviest snow likely here in the higher terrain around areas of the Brooks Range. And then, as I mentioned, there have been storm warnings in effect through this Saturday afternoon for the north central Gulf Coast. Heaviest precipitation, though, has begun to shift and worked its way eastward out of the Panhandle as we go through this Saturday evening. So you're still going to have lingering areas of rain and rain showers, just not as heavy as what fell along the eastern Kenai and around Prince William Sound yesterday, Friday evening through early this morning. And again, comet viewing, we have Comet Tsushinshan Atlas. It's making its closest approach to Earth right now on October 12th, 71 million miles. Unfortunately, though, most areas are going to be cloudy. It's low on the horizon, only 5-6 degrees above the horizon, the best time to view it. And this is based on Anchorage's latitude, 7:30 to 8 p.m. What we're going to see happen, though, coming up next week into the following week, it's going to be higher in the sky each evening and a little later. So right now it's very close to twilight because it's just coming around the sun. So you're going to lose a lot of it in the glare of the evening twilight after sunset. You're also going to have the planet Venus over here to the left. So it lies in between Venus and due west. But right now, if you have a pair of binoculars to help pick it out, that'd be the best bet. It may just be enough to be visible with the unaided eye, but I think as we go through next week, we'll have a better chance of seeing it as it gets a little higher in the sky, and the sky would be a little darker when that happens too. So I'll keep you posted as I take a closer look at some additional information coming up here. But here we have this huge circulation of this low pressure system. Look at it. It's literally encompasses most of the mainland, all of Panhandle, and the eastern Bering Sea. And we have strong northeast to north winds on the backside and then coming across northwesterly through the Aleutians in the lower portion of the Alaska Peninsula. And then as the occluded front has pushed and started coming inland here along the Gulf Coast and Panhandle, we've seen storm and gale force winds associated with that, along with rounds of moderate to locally heavy rain at times. And then that moisture with the initial surge is already working its way upwards across the interior, and we're seeing in this enhanced cloud cover here areas of snow developing, accumulating snow. So as we go through this Saturday night and through the day Sunday, we're going to see areas of accumulating snow, and those will expand across the Brooks Range to the eastern half of the Arctic coast. So low pressure center, 965 millibars. It's going to sit just southeast of Kodiak Island as we go through Sunday. This front will press a little further inland before washing out, and it kind of stalls out off of the Pacific Northwest continental coast there tomorrow. There's a push of colder air dropping in down with the northeast to northerly flow. Colder air is funneling southward, so that's what's setting up an unfavorable environment for the accumulating snow here in the central northern interior. And by the time we get into late tonight, early Sunday morning, the low comes up to 970 millibars, but hasn't moved a whole lot. Come Sunday afternoon, the low is southeast of Kodiak Island up to 975 millibars. And then it's going to start to head eastward on Monday toward Haida Gwaii by early Tuesday. And we have that push of colder air entrenched across the northwest and northern portions of the state. And by the time we get into Monday, the low has filled to 989 millibars, and it will continue working its way eastward as we head into Tuesday. Cold air in place here across the state. That's just going to filter southward. We're just going to overall see temperatures cool across much of the mainland, even into the northern Panhandle in the week ahead. And there's going to be a reinforcing shot of cold air later Tuesday and Wednesday coming out of Russia. As that system crosses here, there'll be some more accumulating snow along northwest areas of the state. Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday night, and then that's going to push some more snow and snow showers inland and southeastward as we go through Wednesday. So we definitely are sliding toward that kind of early taste of winter, which is common as we get a little further along through mid-month in October in Alaska. So here we have temperatures for lows in the 40s across the Panhandle. 28 here, Copper River Basin. As I mentioned, I showed you some accumulating snow up there along the Glen Highway, so be careful traveling through that area tonight and Sunday morning. We also have temperatures that stay above freezing around the Anchorage Bowl, and the bulk of the heavier precipitation that was in this area Friday night and early Saturday is let up now. And then temperatures Sunday afternoon, generally lower 50s across the southern panhandle, 40s to the north, 48 there, Skagway, Haines. We expect temperatures to be near 50, maybe at Soldotna and up around Talkeetna, 40s elsewhere, and then lows Monday morning down around freezing up there at Talkeetna, below freezing Copper River Basin, and then back out here across the panhandle, lows 40 to 45, pretty common, and daytime highs generally in the 40s, most areas of south central, a few lower 50s, Sitka as we get out toward Craig and Ketchikan. In the far north, coldest temperatures are going to be down into the teens with moderate to heavy snow tonight. This morning, Anahtuvik Pass was down near 0 for one of the state's coldest temperatures. And you can see across much of the interior along the Arctic coast, readings are going to get below freezing tonight. Daytime highs, still some 40s around Fairbanks as we go up the Tanana Valley, Tok, and as we have Delta Junction, those places. But as we get out toward all through the Brooks Range and North Slope, readings will generally stay below freezing. On Sunday, with areas of accumulating snow all through this region, back to the west, we find temperatures in the mid-30s for highs there, Seward Peninsula. Monday morning lows, again, generally in the teens across the Brooks, and lows in the 20s across much of the middle, upper Yukon and Tanana Valleys, 20s along the Arctic coast, Chukchi Sea coastline, even down here into Nome, because again, we're going to continue to have that northerly flow. And Monday afternoon, highs, hard-pressed to get much above 20 there. Anahtuvik Pass, highs near or just below freezing along the Arctic coast. Still middle 30s, Seward Peninsula, and then coming up here through the Yukon Valley, Ruby on up into all the way to Fort Yukon. Across the southwest interior, we expect some lows, maybe down to 27 McGrath, just below freezing at Bethel, 35 St. Paul, and readings upper 30s, 39 there at Dutch Harbor. And then temperatures Sunday afternoon, 50 degrees Kodiak City, 40s, mid-40s here around Dillingham, King Salmon, but only in the 30s through the lower Yukon Basin. And as you go up the Kuskokwim, and then for Monday morning, lows will be below freezing across the southwest interior. Readings still upper 30s to around 40 along the Alaska Peninsula and trailing out in through the Aleutians. And daytime highs will generally be low mid-40s along the Alaska Peninsula all the way back out into the central Aleutians, but only in the mid and upper 30s again along coastal areas of the YK Delta and extending inland as you go up the Kuskokwim and Yukon rivers. And the extended temperature outlook for October 18th through the 22nd is still calling for below normal temperatures likely across the eastern and southeast mainland, and especially greater likelihood here, northeastern Gulf Coast, including Yakutat, northern parts of the Panhandle, Sitka, Juneau, up towards Skagway and Haines. Maybe temperatures near a little above normal surrounding Norton Sound back towards St. Lawrence. And precipitation, kind of a reverse of what it's been. We're expecting precipitation to average below normal, a little drier weather for that span along areas of the northern and western Gulf Coast, including the Alaska Peninsula for a change, with a better chance of above normal precipitation along areas of the northwest, particularly the northwest coast, the Chukchi Sea coastline down along Kotzebue Sound. So that's the way things are shaping up with the current pattern as we head past the mid-month period, but we definitely are turning colder and sliding toward more winter-like weather.